All right, guys, that's going to bring us to our next segment. We like to call it 21 Minutes in Heaven, but only because it's season 3, and that's 7 minutes in heaven.
All right, favorite scenes.
All right, guys, that's going to bring us to 7 minutes in heaven. Durden, I'll start off. Now, one of my favorite scenes was the very beginning of the film, and I'm talking about it starts with that Arthur Fleck in the mirror. He has his makeup on, he has this look on his face, and I like to call it Tears of a Clown. He literally cries in that opening scene, and I know that cry. I think we've all had that cry. If you've ever had to work 80 hours for 2 weeks for bullshit pay, if you've ever had to go somewhere you didn't want to be married next to someone or lay next to someone you didn't want to lay next to, I mean, one of the things that truly just rips your fucking soul from your diaphragm. For me, it was those times where you sit in that parking lot of that call center job.
Just watching
And you
your
got
soul die.
Correct, with every bleeding fucking moment. And I knew innately I had to go in there because I had shit I had to do. So I know that look. I am Arthur Fleck.
Yeah, that wasn't actually a teardrop. That was his soul the last bit of his soul excrementing from his body. But that moment was actually not scripted.
Probably some makeup burning his eyes and shit.
Maybe, but all I know is that I read that it wasn't planned. The teardrop is there, and then Todd Phillips was like, "That's a take, we got it." And if you notice when he holds Murray,
How about another joke,
Murray,
Murray?
right before he shoots him, you could see in his eyes, he's like got tears in his eyes in that moment too. I'm gonna start with this is my
easy boy.
My favorite scene that I hate. That is my favorite. I hate the scene that I hate that I like the most.
It's not on my list.
The hero's entrance. When he puts the makeup on, he comes out in full Joker. He's got the suit that we've seen in the posters. The hair is done. He's walking slow-mo away from the camera. He's coming down the stairs. I hate that I love this scene because it's terrible at the heart of it. When he finally comes out in the suit, this dude has murdered 5 to 10 people at least in cold blood for extremely questionable reasons. Like the 3 guys on the subway, they were dicks, no doubt. But did they deserve a death sentence? I
doubt that was the first terrible thing they did. You better stop now. Keep going. Keep moving.
It wasn't his. It wasn't. Justice should not have been from his.
You're about
hands.
to rape that young lady. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just think they were being dicks and they died.
Okay.
But he is a killer. He is a villain. He is a bad guy. Joker is a bad guy. He may be afflicted by his own problems, but he is a bad guy.
According to who?
I just love bad guys.
Todd Phillips does this in every one of his movies too. You can't watch a Todd Phillips movie without getting that slow motion shot of the hero or anti-hero, the underdog of the film, walking towards or away from the camera in slow motion with some hip song playing. And the music in this case, Rock and Roll Song Part 2, this is made by a real life supervillain, Gary Glitter. Currently serving a 16-year keep doing the song. Currently serving a 16-year prison sentence for sexual crimes against minors. Hey! Hey! This dude, because of the use of this song in the movie, he stands to receive royalties behind bars for Joker's use of Rock and Roll Song Part 2. But god damn it, it is such a cool scene. Him coming down the stairs, the song, the shots, the cuts, the crazy dancing, and that metaphor of the dissension as he fully realizes the villain inside. He's literally going downward. And I can say, like, there's no redeeming quality for putting that song in the movie and patting Gary Glitter a pedophile's pockets. But the scene does kind of redeem itself at the end of it when it cuts to what I imagine is outside of Arthur Fleck's imagination, when we see him dancing and the music is not heard anymore, and then the detectives call out for him and he hilariously runs away.
We need to talk!
That moment attempts to redeem that scene, but I like I said, I love the scene. I actually love that song. I just hate all of the details about it, that it's essentially creating an idol out of a murderer.
hero.
Okay. and using the song of a real life.
That's not the first
villain
movie to use that song, so I need you to
not
go
at
back
all.
and make sure you name all the rest of them. And furthermore, you're wrong because that was the big music payoff. That was the big score payoff. You forced people who, not forced, but we went through like opera music, all different type of genres, and they give us 10 seconds of a song, and you lose it. You hate to lose it. It's okay. I'm not even going. All right, yeah, all right, yeah. Now, the stare that Arthur Fleck gives the psychiatrist at the beginning of the film when he said, he's like, I was hoping you can talk to the doctor and give me some more medication. She's like, Arthur, you're on 7 different medications already. Ready? Surely they're doing something. That fucking look he gives her is like, he was thinking about just doing that bitch right there.
Yeah.
That was a chagrin. Now it was just like, remember the look Sugar gave the lady before the dude flushed the shit in the bathroom? That is that he. Like
it's killing her in his brain.
Correct. So that was one. I have another.
Look into my eyes. Do they look like they're working?
Yeah, another one really quick was it's a scene, but it's not really a scene. I don't think most people call it. There were several scenes where they kind of went over the notebook and they showed certain things that have been wrote in the notebook. One of the most powerful things I saw was it says, "People expect you to behave as if you don't." Meaning, like,
it's all a matter of perspective.
Right, like I'm a killer and I am behaving.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly
asking
as I should.
No, well, you say he's a killer, but he is behaving. He's not being a killer. He's like, I'm doing this, but if they keep, why won't you people just be decent? Like, I'm the one that's keeping it. If I can keep it together, y'all should be able to keep it together.
Oh, see, I read that as people tell you to behave as if you aren't.
He knows he's a killer, so he is behaving by just holding together, taking care of his mom. He's behaving, and everybody wants him to keep doing. Like, bitch, don't you know if you say one more, like when the lady said, surely these medications are helping. That's not. It's like almost he's like, bitch, I just asked you just to ask the doctor something. Don't diagnose me. That's why you like.
Yeah, I kind of interpreted that the same way. It was, for me, it was like everybody's doing the best they can. So like even for
correct a purge thing.
Even for Gary Glitter, a pedophile.
No,
he's doing. He as far as he is concerned,
time to die.
With the cards he was dealt, he was behaving.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's Fleck. You got any more?
Yeah.
Go for it.
When he's playing with the kid on the bus, the mom tells him.
You would go to that next, right?
No, but I love this part because this was one of the nuance parts, like that I really where Todd Phillips in an interview said that for him the theme of the movie was really about kindness and humanity. That if you interpreted the movie as anything other than that, it's you that needs to question where your soul is at. Like this is really about humanity and kindness, and this scene I think really conveys that. So he's playing with the kid on the bus. The mom tells him to leave her kid alone, and she's kind of like, I mean, you can understand where she's coming from, but at the same time you can understand, like it's written so well that you can see both sides of this equation. He starts laughing, she gets offended, he gives her the card, and you can see it in her face. She's like, fuck. There's something so human about this scene where we're all dealing with our own shit, and then on top of that we have to put up with the shit of the people that are what people are dealing with around us, and we're all just trying to survive. We all pretty much have the same goals, and no one really wants to make enemies. The way she sits there, that wide shot after she gets the card, and she's sitting there and she's looking annoyed, and at the same she did such a great job with this performance because it was such a short role, but she's sitting there and she looks annoyed, and at the same time she looks like she's feeling guilty about the fact that she's annoyed. Like there's so much humanity conveyed in that moment, and the nuances of how we have to live with each other essentially on Earth and get along.
It's very powerful, very powerful. One thing about the one quick point about that is my point is this: that goes back to why I say Arthur Fleck is the everyday man. Even after being kicked down and all this other stuff happened, he gets on that bus. He still just wants to make people happy. Like he's going the extra mile. I feel like he's doing all that nice stuff to be like the nice stuff I do, I won't become. He doesn't want to become Joker. Yeah. He's trying his best. Like, people expect me to behave as I haven't. Like, if I would have heard that to start the film, like, I'm there. Mm-hmm. I'm watching. So, hire me, man. Guys, the fuck y'all waiting? I ain't gonna do it again. Pay me. All right, you don't listen, do you? Every week, you ask me the same questions. How's my job? How am I feeling? Do I have any negative thoughts?
All I have are negative thoughts.
when he says that, or she like, to me, that, like I say, that most people say, well, that's a favorite quote. No, that is, it's the emotion he's letting her know, like, and that's why he says yet again, they ask me to behave as if I'm not. I am behaving. All I have is negative thoughts. All fucking. I'm asking.
Right, almost like I would like to see how well you behave with the thoughts that I live with every day.
And with all those thoughts he did, and we'll talk about that later. So yeah, go ahead. You got any more? Because I think that might have been.
I have
one more. I have one more. Go ahead.
Two more.
Go ahead.
We kind of glossed over this. If you're happy and you know it, and he's doing the dance with the kids, the dance, and the gun falls out. And it's not good enough that the gun falls on the floor. He kicks it across the floor trying to pick it up. And then the punchline, the cherry on top of the cake, after he puts it away, he like looks at the kids like, shh. And if you notice that one of the staff in the hospital on the left side of the frame, he's like, no, I disapprove of this. See, like, he's not actually doing anything about the fact that there's now a gunman entertaining the children. He's just sitting there like, shh.
Hey, at least he didn't break character. He tried to play that shit off. He did.
Yeah.
Now my number. I was gonna say I have one, but I'm gonna do another one because I think I know where you may be going with it, and also I can use it as something else. So I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna combine two scenes there. Just remember the punch out scene when I forgot to punch out. Right before that, he walks in and they was like, "Hey Arthur, since I heard such and such happen," he was like, "Why don't you ask Randall?" And then he was like, "Oh yeah, that's right.
I still owe you for that, don't I?
And to me, I knew what that meant. He had mentally, Randall was going to die, so he had mentally timestamped that, so he leaves, and then finally Randall comes back, and to me, that's why I said, it shows you that Arthur Fleck was only like, he is the ultimate, that's why I say he's society's bastard. He's letting you know, I'm only going to give it to people who deserve it, because if he was a psychopath, he truly would have killed a Glenn, the other guy that came in, the guy that was
he's a calculated psycho.
No, he's just a calculated person. You expect him to put up with all that stuff. So my point is, it was how he did him, man. He did him, and he sat down, and then he says one of your lines, David. I know it's one of your favorite lines. Like,
It's fucking crazy, isn't it? Me on the telly.
and that's my whole point. So again, he's like, Arthur, how could you do that? I wanted Arthur to say, how could you not do it? He was the same guy to say, hey, is it miniature golf or is it just golf? Hey, I'm killing out here. Ronnie Dangerfield, guys.
Randall's death scene is on my list of favorite scenes, really because that's the one prick that actually had it coming. I mean,
The one?
There was, a lot of them could have deserved a good beatdown, but Randall was like, he tried to.
Randall tried to sell me, told me he tried to sell him a 45 or 35.
Yeah, there was what warranted that? You forced the gun upon him, and then you claimed that he was trying to buy it from you.
Before you say the scene, but remember what you said before about the gun scene that you laughed? You'll love it even more now. Remember when he got the gun from Randall? He was like, Randall, I'm not supposed to have a gun. 5 minutes, damn it, I'm fucking up. 5 minutes later, he shot a hole in the wall in his house.
Him.
And then, like I say, right, you saw something say like, oh my God, go ahead, man, yeah.
That Randall's death scene is easily taken to a whole new level by Gary's commentary over the whole murder.
Why would you do that?
It's you hear it so prominently over everything else, and then the easy low hanging fruit, no pun intended, punchline of the scene where I can't open the door. He needs him to open the door for him,
but he does it.
It's fucking crazy, isn't it? Me on the telly.
That might have been the best line of the fucking
I'm like, holy
movie.
shit, the Joker is legit.
I didn't hear, bro, I promise you, I didn't hear that till the rewatch.
I didn't either. I'm like, did he just do like an accent?
He was doing his accent, the dude's accent. Can you believe it? Me on the telly.
I'll just get these last two out of it pretty quick. The moment when Arthur Fleck meets young Bruce for the first time, that's such a cool moment because it comes with so much gravity just in the implications of what happens beyond this initial introduction. Like you're like,
you mean like the Franks in the mouth?
Just the fact that you're watching history take place. Like we all know Batman, we all know Joker, and this is their first meeting. Like there's something cool about that.
And at their first meeting, he lets 7 to 9 fingers get stuck into his mouth.
He chokes out Alfred. Like Joker,
he puts his fingers. It's not Joker's fault. It's little Bruce sick fucking Wayne's fault. Maybe. Alfred's supposed to be the man of manners. He's supposed to teach her respect. But he wasn't 3. He was like 9 or 10. He liked that sick shit, man.
Yeah, it's very weird. This is a very problematic episode. My last scene is outside the hospital with the detectives when the detective asks his condition. They're laughing.
Is it real?
But I love the way Arthur, he says so matter-of-factly.
What do you think?
It was done beautifully. It's the perfect representation of how he views his life. Going back to what we were saying earlier, it's a tragic comedy.